Hi, class. Dr. Sands here. I want to take a minute to go through your identifying leadership style assignments. All right, we want to go ahead and get started. So, if you read at the top, the introduction, learning, applying, and adapting one's style is central to success as a leader. There are variable expectations and situations that necessitate a specific skill set, knowledge, traits, and talents at one point in time, and yet another variables, expectations, and situations that require an entirely different skill set. Therefore, identifying your own style with its unique skills, knowledge, traits, and talents in addition to strengths and limitations, is central to not only becoming a leader, but becoming the right leader at the right time. So it is important to understand and be able to reflect, do 360, analyses on yourself throughout pretty much all the time. I like to think that it's, the spirit of continuous improvement. We're always, reflecting on how we conduct ourselves on a day to day in regards to business. And because every day brings up something new, some different challenge that you have to, lead through or work with people. So we do take tests, we look at things, but I say on the day to day business, be aware of how, we're interacting with people, especially in leadership situations. All right. So assignment instructions. Take the following leadership styles test to determine if you are an authoritative, democratic, facilitative, servant, transformational, or situational leader. So, just you want to click these links and open a new window, each one. And then ultimately, you'll start and complete each of those surveys. And then the second point here, take the character strength, and again, opens a new window, test on the VIA Institute on Character website to identify your character strength, such as wisdom, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, and transcendence. Okay, and then the last one, take the leadership skill set, again, opens a new window on the psychic's website to determine your leadership skills in relation to micromanagement, long-term planning, communication vision, emotional control, and mentoring. Now, on this one, there is a fee required to acquire a customized comprehensive report. To complete this assessment, you must purchase that report. Okay. So with this assignment, the first thing is, going through 1, 2, and 3 and taking all 5 of these surveys and tests and questionnaires and complete that. Okay, so then the actual assignment, and this is, of course, APA. So you're going to have your title page, the body of your assignment. You're going to have references and potentially you will have an appendix for any of the report stuff you might want to include. Okay, so this is where when you do all the your surveys, questionnaires, and you're going to have 3 to 4 references. So this is where your writing begins. Okay, remember title page. When you start writing your paper on page 2, your title. The title of your paper. Your first thing is the introduction paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, and you're going to introduce your entire paper. And then the first section that you start to write on is this section 4. Okay. So this is describe your leadership style, character strengths, and strengths and weaknesses limitation. Okay. So you're going to describe that. That's going to be one section, one part of the first section you're going to write on. Okay. Then synthesize all results into your own personal leadership profile. Be sure you've conducted an in-depth research about each leadership style. Okay. So this first section under 4 here is going to have 2 main sections. Okay, so let's say point 4 is going to have 2 main sections you're going to be writing on. Once again, describe your leadership style, character strengths and strength and weaknesses limitations. That's one thing you're going to write about. And then the next one, synthesize all results into your own personal leadership profile. Be sure you've conducted in-depth research on each leadership style. So that first main section, you're going to have your paper title, introduction, paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, the first section of your paper, and you can call it, let's see here, you can call it leadership. Why don't you call it leadership style and personal leadership profile? So that'll be a level 1 heading, right? Your first level 1 heading, you can call it leadership style and personal leadership profile. With that, you will put all this up under there, okay? All right, the next section of what you're going to be writing about, based on your leadership profile and scholarly research, how do your character strengths, leadership style, and strengths and weaknesses align with the various leadership styles? Okay, so answering this question, so this next section under 5, the first section is how do your character strengths, leadership style, and strengths and weaknesses align with the various leadership styles? That's what you're going to write about. That's the first thing here in this fifth point. Then it says and. So that's the first thing. And then and, so it means you're going to write about something additional. Which of the leadership styles do you aspire to develop as a leader? So once you do all these assessments and questions, you're going to know where you're at today. Okay? So the second part of this section is, and which of the leadership styles do you aspire to develop as a leader? So that means you do all that testing and surveys. It's going to tell you where you're as a leader right now. That may be not where you want to be. Maybe you want to be something different. And that's what it's saying. Where do you aspire to develop as a leader? Servant leadership, transformational leadership, etc. For me, I always aspire to be a servant leader. Work, school, family. And at work, I look to be a servant leader in my roles. I look to develop and promote the folks I lead to help them grow. Okay, so for this point 5, that's the 2 sections you're going to have to write about in point 5. Why don't we call that we can call this section, how about we call it leadership aspiration? So this point for this number 5, these 2 sections, you can call this section leadership aspiration. Then you have 2 deliverables under that, right? Okay, and then number 6, how would you maximize the strengths of your leadership style? So that's one thing you're going to write about. So how would you maximize the strengths of your leadership style? So where you're at today, how do you maximize that? Okay, then it says, and how would you overcome some of the disadvantages and negative tendencies of your leadership style? So that first sentence is giving you 2 things you have to write about. Okay, and then goes on to say, be sure to discuss the relationship between leadership style, strengths and weaknesses, character and leadership effectiveness. Okay, so this is saying this first sentence here is giving you 2 things to write about. Then this next sentence basically says, oh, by the way, don't forget, be sure to discuss the relationship between leadership style, strengths and weaknesses, character and leadership effectiveness. So when you address the first 2 points in here, which is how would you maximize strengths of your leadership style, first thing you write about, and then it says, and, I mean, the second thing, How would you overcome some of the disadvantages and negative tendencies of your leadership style? That's what you're going to write about. And then just once again, it's saying, oh, but, by the way, don't forget, be sure you discuss the relationship between leadership style, strengths and weaknesses, character, and leadership effectiveness. So they're saying with this sentence, you need to make sure that when you write about these first two up here, you also focus on that. Okay. And then it says, discuss how your leadership style and profile support or hinder your ability to bring about positive organizational change. So this says discuss. So ultimately, under this point 6, you have 3 things you're going to write about. How would you maximize strengths and leadership style? 1. How would you overcome some of the disadvantages and negative tendencies of your leadership style? 2. Then it says discuss. So this is number 3. Discuss how your leadership style and profile support or hinder the ability to bring about positive organizational change. So those are the things that's what you'll be writing about. So for this point 6, your level 1 header, you can call that, let's see here. What did we not use? Profile, we call that one. Discuss leadership, so profile. Well, you can call this 6th one here. Maybe just call it leadership. Let's see here. Strengths and weaknesses of leadership style. How's that? So there's number 6. You can call strengths and weaknesses of leadership style. Okay. Now it says word count 250 to 750. I can guarantee you're not going to get all this written in 250 words. It's just not going to happen. So, when I look at word counts, I think I posted in the announcement section, when I look at word counts, it's just a guide. It's not an absolute. When I grade you, I'm going to read what you wrote and to see how comprehensively you wrote about it. So, if you go out written in a very comprehensive manner in 250 words, then you're a rock star. It's going to take you more than that. Now, you don't want to turn in a 25-page paper either, so that would be way too much. So the word count's a guide. Would just write to comprehensively about each section there. Okay. Says citation requirements 3 to 4, and of course APA formatting and plagiarism check. In the announcement section of your classroom, I did post right at the beginning of class about APA formatting and style. I posted a video. It's just a few minutes, and I go through the expected APA requirements. I taught APA for quite a while, and the APA manual is a great book and tells you a lot of good stuff. For the length of these papers, you only need a few things to master. You really do. So I'm telling you in that video exactly what I'm expecting on your paper, and it's per APA, and you can take that to every class and use it. Remember, you write in third person unless otherwise specified. And that's the thing is with business. Business is writing third person. With that, you focus on the thing, the it. First person is you focus on the I, and that's not what we want to do here or in business unless it specifically says a reflection paper. Okay, so this would be third person. Okay, so my title page slightly extended. I require a few more elements than probably the minimal. In the AP manual, it gives an example of what the basics are. Then it also says, or your instructor's requirements. So I have additional requirements, but look at your announcements. I also provide an example paper of what your paper should look like. So, it's I know a lot of times, if you can visualize something, it makes it easier. So watch a video, look at the sample paper. I also provide an example of the title page and what I expect that to look like. All right. Well, I believe that will do it for this assignment. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Send me an email, shoot me a text. Although I get my email on my phone, just as easy as text messages. It's probably easier to shoot me an email and ask any questions that you may have. All right. Well, thank you, and I wish you much success on this assignment.